Hi everyone, this is the 10th video in the series on Aristotle, and in this video I'd like to talk about part 10 and if possible part 11 of Poetics text. So part 10 is named Simple and Complex Plot. If you want to talk, it's a title goes like Simple and Complex Plot. Aristotle mentions about two kinds of plots. Those are simple and complex. Plots are either any of this kind. So, what do you mean by that? Let us see an action which is one and continuous. That is a simple one. And when the change of fortune takes place without reversal of the situation and without recognition, that is a very simple kind of plot. And a complex action is one in which the change is accompanied by such reversal or by recognition. Those two elements are already described by Aristotle. How it goes like a peripetia and anagnorisis. One is with the reversal of the situation, and one is with the recognition, sudden discovery. So, if those bring an element of surprise, and if the kind of shift of fortunes that the change occurs with these elements, that is a kind of complex plot. And both can be there also. The element of surprise can be brought either by reversal or by recognition or by both together. In one plot itself, both can be incorporated. So in any regard, that is a complex plot. The last should arise from the internal structure of the plot. That is, it should arise from the plot. It should not be. We should not feel like an artificial. What you call instilling of that, or in a way trying to afford that for the sake of it's incorporating. We should not feel that kind of an artificiality, and if it comes with its internal structures, that is something better, so that that what follows should be the necessary or probable result of the preceding action, and we feel it to be really worthy of mentioning, and we feel it like something really natural. All those events we feel like the natural outcome of what is already there. And that is how we can make a complex plot. And obviously, Aristotle prefers the second kind, that is complex plot. Now, it is more about the peripety and recognition, that is discovery, scenes of suffering. That is going to be described in part 11. Now it is about part 11 of the text, Poetics by Aristotle, that talks about, that is going to describe in detail about peripety and anagnorisis. So reversal of the situation is a change by which the action veers round to its opposite, subject always to our rule of probability or necessity. Obviously, we need a change in situation. That situation is in a change by which that action, the action is always whirling round to its opposite. That is how a change occurs. And the reversal, if that is there, obviously it is in the opposite direction of what has been happening till this moment. And the subject always to our rule of probability or necessity. That is somewhere possible, and now it happens, and we are having a reversal of the situation. Then Oedipus, let's take for example from Aristotle. Oedipus, the messenger comes to cheer Oedipus and free him from his alarms about his mother, but by revealing who he is, he produces the opposite effect. That's how he reverses the situation. By the revealing of the details, the messenger means to bring some clarification, but by revealing the identity of the king, Oedipus, the prince, the situation becomes even more tough. So that is again reversal effect. Also is the reversed kind. And the recognition is a change from ignorance to knowledge. Now, then another possibility of the element of surprise, it can be brought by recognition, the sudden discovery of something, and that is of course from the ignorance to knowledge. We find out something. The characters find out something to be really different from what they have thought to be or that they have been thinking. about. So producing love or hate between the persons destined by the poet for good or bad fortune. Sometimes it may bring positive effect or negative effect, otherwise negative effect. But obviously, in a tragedy, we can expect something to be negative. If it is at the end, of course, that is the only possibility. And the best form of recognition is coincident with the reversal of the situation, as in Oedipus. So these two combination, when it comes in combination, it is really the effect is something somewhat double, and the element of surprise and all those become double. Now, the other forms too, even inanimate things of the most trivial kind may in a sense be objects of recognition. It should not only be the subjects or action or some incidents, but even a very trivial kind of inanimate objects can be the element of recognition at times. The recognition which is most intimately connected with the plot and action is the recognition of persons, and with this recognition combined with the reversal will produce either pity or fear. And that is the ultimate part of the pity and fear. The evoking of pity and fear is must as far as Aristotle's ideas of tragedy or the qualifications for tragedy that is concerned. But here, these effects, recognition of persons, and the that gets combined with the reversal will bring pity or fear. We feel like we feel for the characters, the sudden recognition and the sufferings they afford in front of our eyes on stage. We feel for them, and that may evoke a kind of pity and fear, pity and fear. And it is upon such situation that the issues of good or bad fortune will depend. And recognition being between persons, it may happen that one person only is recognized by the other when the latter is already known, or it may be necessary that the recognition should be on both sides. Sometimes that is according to the plot structure. These are just given as some ideas in additional ideas, but that can be, these elements can be made use by the writers, the tragedy, the playwrights, according to their incidents and the actions which they want to portray. That's all. We cannot talk all these we do not have to talk about all these from different, with some possibilities, but from different place already. Those are there. We can, if you want, we can trace back to this kind of how the playwrights make use of this or made use of these possibilities. Now, the two parts of the plot, that is reversal of the situation and recognition, turn up to surprises. We know, obviously, some leads to some new knowledge. Anyway, it is leading to knowledge, reversal or recognition, so that it brings an element of surprise. And the third part is the scene of suffering. The scene of suffering is a destructive or painful action, such as death on stage, bodily agony, and wounds and the like. So these are also portrayed for the sake of bringing an extra effect. Those are, of course, we can bring it with the stage mechanism, scene of sufferings and all, but that also, of course, that also holds the kind of impact on stage, the impact in the viewers as well. So death on stage, bodily agony, all these also bring an impact on the viewers. That has an impact as well as an additional effect for the whole play as well. So this is all with the part 11 of Aristotle's Poetics. Thank you.